day, human Latiosites. This is Latios Azuro, and welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Picross, where we use logic puzzles to draw Pokemon pictures. So, let's begin. Alright, so last time we continued on with our Mega Evolution drawing quest, or whatever, so this time let's just keep going. So, I guess next would be Area 18. Alright. So I guess we're starting off with the Heracross. Alright. Set a Mega Evolved Pokemon, use Hyper Scan at least once. Does anything have... Okay, alright. I'm gonna make sure nothing had a mural tile that we need to go after, but so far no, so we're good. Alright, set at least one Mega Evolved Pokemon, use Hyper Scan. So I guess we're bringing Gallade. Or someone with Hyper Scan, that would do well. Or I could just go Lucario. And you know what? I'll bring Dragonite instead of Ampharos. That should work. So we can use the Hyper Scan from Lucario, well, Mega Lucario. We're sending our Mega Evolved Pokemon. Let's do this! So, Dragonite, right in the middle. Right in the middle, I believe you can do this. Well, little off, but I'll take it. Let's stop the clock. And let's use our Blue Force. Alright. So, we have the 2 right there. Those are in the 3. Alright, so that's the 3rd one. That's a 2, that's a 3. So we have this, and we have the 1 and 1. That's a 2, this is a 5. And we have that's a 2. And this would be a 7. So that's our first full column, which is definitely nice. This is probably the 4 then, because you can't fit the 4 anywhere else. Alright, we have... I thought I was putting an X there. I meant to put an X there. Whatever. So we have a 3 right there, and that's the 1. No, that... I meant to put a 2 there, but you know what? Whatever, that's okay. That's okay. That's a 4, that's a 2. That's a 4. That's a 2. So far anything under there is done. We have a 1. Oh, wait a minute, that's a 2. What am I doing? You know what, we have Lucario, so it doesn't even matter, we'll use it Metagross. Alright, so then we have the 1 and we have the 2. Alright, whatever, we have this column done. 2 right there. Alright, so that's the 2, which means we have the 1 and the 2 right here. Well, Metagross is pretty much done at this point. So, 3, 1, 1. Alright, so we have a 2 right there. Let's let Lucario fix things for us. Now that Metagross is used up. Okay. So we have a 2 right there. So that would finish this column up. 2 and 2. Lucario, fix things for us, please. Two and 1. 1, 1, 3, 1, 1. 3 right there and a 1. There we go! So with that, we have drawn and Mega Evolved Mega Heracross. I know I did a lot of guessing at the end, but once again, when I'm using Metagross and with the Hyperscan, I tend to just be a lot less cautious. But we did get the crown on there, and we also got a medal. Super Mega Evolution Trainer. Which is for Mega Evolving 20 Pokemon. But we still have a ways to go. Alright, next up is, that's 20 by 15. I'm going to move on to, I guess, Mega Audino. Said at least one Mega Evolved Pokemon use Rising Reveal at least once. Okay. So, Mega Lopunny, I guess? Or do we not have that? We do not have that. So, I need to use Rising Reveal. Who can... I guess Lopunny can do it. At the start. I guess I'm going Mega Lucario again. I'll do the same thing only with Lopunny instead of Dragonite. That should work. You know who would be able to use, who would probably be able to use Rising Reveal as a Mega? Audino. That's who! You know, the one we're drawing? Alright, you know what? I'll take this. I'll take it. I'll take it. Alright. Let's stop the clock. And let's use Greninja. I'm gonna use Lucario, I think. Well, I guess we have, that. Well, in that case, we have the 4 and the 1. That is done for us. Two right there. That's a 2 and a 2. 2 right there, and that's a 1. And a 2. And we have our 4 right there. Okay. So that means our 4 will be... We have a 2 and a 4 right here. That's the 1 there. That is not meaning that this is the 1. That's the 2. So, I guess we do have that 1 right there. Hmm. 2 right there. 5. And a 2. 2 and a 1. Well, this has to be the 1, so that's the 2. So that's done with. That's the 2, and that's the 1. So there's a 1 somewhere in here. Those are 1s. That is a 2. 2 right there. That needs to be in the 2. That's not there, so that's it. And we have 2 at the bottom right there. That's a 2 right there. So that needs to be the 3 because it can't be here. That's not the 1, that is the 1, so the 2 would be there. So that's done with. We have the 1 there, we have a 1 here, 3 and 2. And a 1, 3, done. There we go. So with that, we have drawn and Mega Evolved Mega Audino. Alright. So with that, Mega Audino is going to get the crown. Next up, that's going to be a fun one. 20 by 15! Clear in 6 minutes. That's going to be fun. Well. That is really going to be fun, won't it? I think I'm going to start using some legendary and mythical Pokemon to help us out here. So let's bring out our friends. Let's bring Zekrom and Reshiram. And I'm gonna also bring Metagross, I think, just to be on the safe side. These guys will be available twice, so I don't need to bring someone who can only do it at the beginning, unless... They're anytime. Kyurem is anytime. Yeah, there aren't really any of them that are only at the beginning. How much better is Mega Rayquaza than Rayquaza, then? I guess it is actually better. Huh. You're at the start, but these guys do more. I'm gonna bring them. So we're not gonna start off with using something. We're just gonna use them in the beginning, and we'll see what we can do. Because I'd rather have Metagross just to be safe. Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna stop the clock. I kinda need Gengar, because the extra 2 minutes can be the difference between winning and losing. So I'm gonna use both Reshiram and Zekrom, unless Reshiram is able to just give us the most awesome luck ever. Well, you know what? That's not bad. That is not bad. That gives us a lot of information. Come on. Middle, bottom, right. Whatever. Bottom left, that's good. It's good enough, I guess. Alright, well we know that needs to be in there. That's a 3. That's a 2. That's a 1. That's a 1. That's there. And we have... That's it. Two right there. And there's a 1 somewhere here. Oh yeah, that's the 2. So... that's actually really good. So that means we have... I don't know there. You know what? We have a 2 there. Zekrom, I'm gonna let you do some work. I probably don't need to use you since we already have like half of the board done. That is what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. But now we already used you, there's really no reason not to use you again. So, come on. There's a big space in the middle. Top middle. No, nothing. Nothing. Whatever. Strike out. What are you gonna do? It happened. I meant to fill that in. It was 5. I knew that! Oy. Alright, you know what? Whatever. We have a 1-1-3. Those need to be in 3. Those need to be in the 4. And those need to be in the 3 and the 2. Okay. So do we have... Yeah, that's in there, so that's a 1. So that's the 1 there. So we have our first full row. That's good. Is the 3 here, or... Okay, that is. Okay. Cool. Which would mean that's the 1. So there's a 1 right here. And then we have a 2 here. That's a 1. This is a 3. So that would make this the 4 and the 1. That's a 3. So you know what? That's okay. We actually gained from that mistake. Okay, that's the 2. That makes it a 1, so we have a 1 at the top. We're making mistakes that we actually are able to take real advantage of. I meant to X out this space. Whatever. We're okay. So that means we have a 1, 2, 1 right there. That's a 5. This row's finished. It's a 3. So we have the 1 in there. 1 right there. So that's done with. Now we have a 9. So that column is done. 2 right there. We have a 2 and a 2. So that means we have a 3 and a 1 right there. So that's a 2. That's a 2 there, so we have this. Which means that's done with. 2, and that's a 3. Which means we're done with there. Okay, this is a 1 there, so the 3 would go right there. Now we have 3, including here, here, and here. That's a 3. So that's the 2. I only meant to go up there that far, but that's okay because we are about to finish. 2 and 2. 2 and 1. And a 1. There we go! So with that we have drawn and Mega Evolved Mega Sceptile. There we go! And Mega Sceptile is going to get a nice little crown. Awesome. Alright, let's move on to the next area. Victoriously. Okay, so it looks like we're going on to Mega Camerupt. Does anything here have a mural tile we want to go after? So far, no. Alright, we're okay. Camerupt can Mega Evolve. Let's have it undergo Mega Evolution. Okay. I'm aware. So use only freeze time. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Simply put, that's not gonna happen. I'm sorry. Sorry to disappoint you, but yeah, Camerupt's not getting the crown today. Do you do it at the beginning? Yeah, you do it at the start. I think Dragonite might be better then. Yes, Dragonite is much better. It might be because it meant Mega Evolves, so that this way it's more useful, I guess, when it Mega Evolves than when it's not Mega Evolved. I don't know. Either way, that's that. What about Goodra? At the start, random. but not as good as Dragonite. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's bring our good friend Blaziken! Because we can get that cross reveal thing happening. And clear in 3 minutes. Are you mad, game? Actually, it might be possible because we do have Gengar. Without Gengar, yeah, I think this game would be kind of mad. I'd be kind of mad. Of course, not full-on crazy, just, you know, kind of crazy. Come on, right in the middle. I'll take it. I'll take it. Alright, Gengar, do y'all thing! Now you are going to go... I'm thinking top right? Or bottom left, you know. Whatever. You do you. You do you. Alright. So... we have... 4 and... 2. And there's a 3. So 1 right there. 2 and 1. There's the 4. So that's done. So this 4 would be right there. And no, the 6 is right here. Okay. Couldn't guess perfectly forever, I suppose. That's okay. 4, 2, and 1. There we go. So, 2, we need a 2 at the top, somehow. And that's not it, so that would be it then. Giving us that. So here's our 2. And there's a 1. Six, and here's the 4. So 1's gonna be, we have this here. So that's it. Okay. My bad. Alright. This is too good to be true. Yeah, there had to be a 3 in there. Besides, the 3 had to be right here to begin with because of that 3. So we have a 2 right there, meaning the 3 has to go downward. Okay, we have 4 here. Well, good to know. We have this. We have that. 2 and a 1. 3. That's a 2 right there. 1 right there. And there we go. So with that, we have drawn and Mega Evolved Mega Camerupt. Alright. Camerupt's not gonna... well, Mega Camerupt isn't gonna get the crown, but that's okay. That's okay. We're okay. Alright, let's move on to, I guess, Area 20! Area 20! Let's go. Alright, so it looks like here the only Mega Evolution is Ampharos. Does anything here have any mural tiles that we still need? So, yeah, we have to do Zekrom with... we gotta do Zekrom. And we have to do Raichu with Pichu. So you know what, let's go after Zekrom quickly. And I mean quickly, so... this is gonna be fun, won't it? I'll bring Zygarde complete, Dragonite, and I think the same for everyone else. Let's go. No, wait a minute. No, I don't want to... it said use Diamond Reveal. I didn't pay attention. I didn't use Zygarde yet, so we're good, we're good. I can heal up Metagross without a problem. I wasn't paying attention. Use Diamond Reveal at least once, so I have to bring Togekiss instead, or someone else. Togekiss is not gonna work. No, I can use Togekiss. I don't need to bring Xerneas. I probably should bring Xerneas. But just in case I need to use Xerneas somewhere else, I'm going to use Togekiss, I think. Let's go. Let's do this. No, wait a minute, I didn't bring a Mega Evolution this time. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm a total idiot. Wow, my memory sucks, and I can't do this. Wow. Okay, bring a Mega Evolution this time. Which means you guys need to be healed. And I need to bring a Mega Evolution instead of someone. You only work at the beginning. I could bring Mega Rayquaza. You know what? I'm gonna bring Mega Lucario instead of Greninja. I'm gonna regret this, especially because I can't use you. I'm gonna miss using Greninja, but hopefully Zygarde and Togekiss will will do it for us. And Metagross. Couldn't go right in the middle again. Whatever. You know what? You know what? That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. We need the mural tile, so you know what? I'll take what I can get. Let's do this. Alright, I think we're in a decent shape now. Okay, so there's the 4. That would have to be the 4, and that's the 2. That's the 4, and the 1 would be not there because this would be the 6. That's the 3, meaning we have a 1 at... What am I doing? I'm an idiot. That's the 3. That's the 2, and we have a 1 somewhere here. The 1 has to be here. Well, that's the 8. That is a 1. I'm not paying attention to anything, obviously. I need to start actually... No, that is a 3. You know what? I'm only confusing myself now. Alright, that's a 3. This needs to be a 7. 2 and 7. 4 and 2. 3 and another 3 somewhere. And there needs to be a 1 right there. So we have this, and we have a 3 here, and we have a 6. So that means we have a 4, 1 and 4, that's a 1, that's a 3, and these are 1s. Meaning we have a 1 here or here. It's not there, it's here. Good to know. Great! Now I only have Metagross 3 more times, and then I'm done. Then I'm in real trouble. Okay. We know there has to be a 1 here, meaning that's a 2, and it's not here. That's a 6. That's not a good mistake to make, but we do know then that's the 2. 5 and 1. There's the 6. That's in the 3. That needs to be in the 4. This needs to be the 4 then, meaning that's a 2, that's a 1, and the 2 needs to include this. This needs to be a 1, so we have this here. Alright, that, we only have Metagross one more time. We have, that's a 1 right there. That's a 2 right here. We have this row's done. This row's done. That's a 1. That's a 1. So we have a 2 and a 2. And we have, that's a 4 right there. So there we go. With that, we have drawn for the mural tile Zekrom. And with that, Zekrom's going to get the crown, and we're going to get a mural tile, which is basically what we were after. Alright, and Raichu. We need to use Pichu. And freeze time at least once. Okay, so slow time. Pichu, you're up. And I think if it's all the same, I'd rather use Dragonite than Togetic. If it's all the same. Pichu's not going to do any real good here, but actually, am I better off using Lucario or Greninja? That's, I think, a good question. Of course, it doesn't make sense for me to say that my own question is a good question. If I didn't think it was a good question, I wouldn't ask it. Either way, I'm going to stop the clock. Go for a 3. We have a 2 there, 2 there, 3 there. So these are that. Okay, that's a 2. We have a 1 over there. That's a 1 right there. That's a 3. That's a 1. That's a 7. Either way, that's a 1. That needs to be in the 5. The 12. Well. No, the 5's going to be down here. Well, in that case, we have that's the 2, which means that's the 1. What did I just do? What have I done? I had that done and I accidentally deleted everything. Wow. I'm an idiot. Alright. 2. 2. There's a 3 somewhere here. Oh, we know that's not in the 2. Okay. These are 1s. Those are not 1s. Well, that column's done anyway, so we know those need to be there. Finishing this column. Finishing that column. So these 3 columns are done. That's convenient. Alright. That column's done. 2, 2. That's a 1, and that's a 3. So that's a 4. So now we're getting there. Okay. Well, I guess that means... What am I doing? That's there. Okay, you know what? I'm not even concerned because we do have Lucario. So if I make a few mistakes, then we can always fix them. Oh, that's the 1. Oh yeah, that is a 1. Oops. Okay, so in that case, that's the 2. That's a 3. That's a 2. 1 right there. Alright, there's 2 right there. 6 there. 4 there. That's a 3. And there we go. So with that, we drew Raichu again. With the main objective of getting the mural tile. But with that, Raichu is going to get the crown. There we go. Alright, I think that's all of the mural tiles we need from this area. So we are now at the point where we have all the mural tiles on this puzzle. We're only missing 1 on this, so we only need 1 more mural tile, and then we'll have all of them, and we can start doing the mural tiles. We're gonna wait until we finish Mega Evolutions before we do that, but that is good to know. Set Raichu here. That's actually funny because, you know, we just went after Raichu. It's kind of cool how that works. Okay, so in that case, Raichu, you're up. Are you even going to be useful? Yeah, you will. Wow, okay. Use slow time at least once. Alright. Let's go! Dragonite right in the middle. Right in the middle. I know you can do it. I know you can do it. Right in the middle. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about! That is what I'm talking about! Alright, so we got 3 and a 1. No, that's the 1 then. Okay, and that column is done then. 1 down here, and we have a 4, including this. And there's the 7. Now that would make this the 3 then. That's the 2. Meaning we have a 1 and a 2 right there. Well, then we have the 3 right there. So this column is done. 2 and a 2. That's a 3. 1. Meaning we have another 1 here. Well, this needs to be a 4. These need to be connected. These need to not be. Two right there. And we have a 3 right there. We need a 4. So we need 1 right there. 1's gonna be somehow. We now have the 3 right here, so that finishes up these columns. Alright, we have 2 1s somewhere. Well, we know that can't be filled. I meant that can't be filled in. No, so that's the 2 then. Well, we have a 2 right there then. Okay. That's the 1, so then that's done. Alright, we have a 3 right here. Let you fill that in, Metagross. Okay. In that case, We have that 5, that's a 6. Right there we have a 2 and a 1. 2 right there. 3 and a 3. There's a 3 right there. That's the 4, 1, and 2. There we go! So with that, we have drawn and Mega Evolved Mega Ampharos! Alright. So with that, Mega Ampharos is going to get the crown, giving us 6 more pick rights. Awesome. Alright. So, let's move on to the next area. So, we have Blastoise 20 by 15, and we have Slowbro. Do any of these have mural tiles that we still have yet to collect? So far, it looks like we have all of them from these Pokemon, so I'm not concerned on I am sort of a completionist, but only to some degree. I don't really care about arbitrary things done, like the ones they use only freeze time, unless it has a mural tile. I don't really care. But at the same time, I do want to get all the mural tiles. So, said at least one legendary mythical Pokemon use auto-fix 5 or fewer times, so I can't use Metagross this time. I mean, I guess I can, but not gonna be as fun. So, I'm gonna bring back Greninja. I'll let Lucario continue being our Mega Evolution. And a legendary or mythical Pokemon. Sure. Let's let Zekrom have some fun. Alright. It's go time. Dragonite right in the middle. Nice. Nice. Alright. Let's stop the clock. And cure him. Top left? Top left? Come on. Really? Are you kidding me? Talk about useless. Talk about useless. Come on, top left. Top left. You gave me nothing that time. Well, whatever. That's what happens when you go with random stuff there. Alright, we have a 2 here. This is a 4. That's a 4. And that's a 3. You have a 1 right here. That's a 1. That's a 1 right there. That's a 1 right there. That's in the 8. Alright, now Lucario, work your magic. Well, that means this needs to be a 2. So that would mean this needs to be a 2. Alright, let's do this again. Good! Good. Okay, that's good. Alright, that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These 4 need to be in there. That needs to be in the 1. Or should I say that needs to be the 1. Alright. That needs to be a 2. That's a 1. That's in there. 5 right there. That's a 2. That's a 1. Those need to be in the 6. That needs to be in there. So that's our 2. Because these are done. 2 right there. 3 right there. 4 right there. And we have a 2 somewhere. That's a 2. 2 right there. And there we go. So with that, we have drawn and Mega Evolved Mega Slowbro. Alright. That is how to use Hyper Scan instead of Autofix. I don't know exactly how much I recommend it, but, you know, when you can't use Autofix, sometimes you just gotta be creative. You gotta use that creativity, don't you? Alright, this time, 3 or more Grass-type Pokemon. Oh, God. Well, I don't think I want to do that. Well, I don't think they'll work. None of them will. Wow. Okay, you know what? You know what? If this game's going to be that way, I'm going to bring Mega Sceptile, and I'm going to bring Virizion. And, you know what, also bring Shaman. I kind of want to go Mega Rayquaza, but I can't, because I'm bringing Mega Sceptile, so... How long do we have? 30 minutes? I'll bring Zygarde, and, well, the 10%, and I guess Dragonite. Here we go! This is going to be the weirdest one yet, because I'm not bringing Gengar, or... Well, we do have Autofix, so that is definitely something we do have at our disposal. I'm going to start off with Dragonite, and then I'm going to use Zygarde. In fact, we have a lot of Autofix at our disposal. Dragonite right in the middle. Or, you know, on the end. That is like the worst possible time for you to do, like, so little. But, you know what? What are you gonna do? That was a little off, but... whatever. That's okay. Let's do this. Alright. That means now we can't really do anything else, so... Alright, that's the 2. That's a 2. That's a 3, that's a 9. 2 right here. So that's the 3. Meaning we have a 1 and a 1. We need a 2 and a 1. And this would be an 11. So this row's done. Our first full row. That's a 3, meaning we have a 2. And we have a 1. Okay. That's a 2. That's the 3. Alright, so that's our 4. That's 2 right there. 3, 1, and 1. That's a 2. No, that's not a 1, but we do have a 4 right there. So that's the 1. We have a 2 there. Meaning we have a 1 and a 1. Well, we're an Auto-Fix Master, so, you know, that's silver lining, I guess. Luckily, Sceptile, well, Mega Sceptile is going to do so much for us that it's awesome. In fact, I'm pretty sure Mega Sceptile alone should be enough. What am I doing? Alright. I don't even know what I'm doing at this point. So we have 2, 1, 2, 2, and 3. Finishing that row. 2, that's a 2. You have a 5. That's a 2. And another 2. And another 2. Two right there. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do that. Because that'll finish this column. I meant to put the 1 right here, but whatever. We are almost done. And we're probably not going to use Virizion nor Shaman. Okay, so there's the 2. Finishing up this row. I meant to click here, but, you know, whatever. Okay. 2 right there. That's the 1. Two right there. That's a 4. 6, 1, and 2. There we go! With that, we have drawn and Mega Evolved Mega Blastoise. And Mega Blastoise is going to get the crown. That's what I'm talking about. So we got some nice little award. Auto-Fix Master. Did we get anything else, or was that it? I think that might be it. Yeah. But still, that's kind of cool. We use Auto-Fix a bunch of times because that means we're in it. Basically, it's a dubious award because it's a award for not being very good. That's it, let's move on to the next area. I guess area 22! Let's do this. Alright, we got... looks like Absol and Altaria. Alright, let's do this. Said at least one legendary or mythical Pokemon use Hyperscan 2 or fewer times. So basically, don't bring a Hyperscanner. Alright. Bring Dragonite. I'll bring... I don't know. Let's bring Latios and Latias. I will bring Gengar, because I need the clock to stop. And... so, I guess Hyperscanner. I don't think we need to bring a Hyperscanner, but I'm gonna bring one just in case. I'll go with Mega Lucario. Alright, let's go. Let's do this. Alright, so if Dragonite goes right in the middle, I'm not going to use Latios or Latias. If Dragonite does not go right in the middle, I'm going to use both of them. That's, you know, a little far off, so I'm going to stop the clock. I waited 2 seconds because I'm an idiot, but I did stop the clock. I'm going to let Latios go first, and then Latias I can control. So, Latios bottom right, but not directly in the corner. Or, you know, top middle. That works. Latias, you'll be useful. Because you can just do that for me. Bam! Done! Bam, wham, done. Alright, 1 and 1. That's a 2. 2 right there, 2 right there. So that's done. That's the 8. 1 and 1. That needs to be a 2. That needs to be a 1, so this would be this one. That's done, so that means that's the 6. Nothing there, so the one's either going to be at the bottom or the one above the bottom. Alright, well that's a 2. That's empty right there. Nothing there. Nothing there. That's a 2. This is a 4. 1 and 1. 4 right there. We need a 2 here. Well, that's a 2 there. That's a 3. You know what we could do? Lucario, make my life easier. Alright. That definitely makes my life easier. That means we have a 1 and a 1. Actually, we don't. I miscounted. Now that's a 4. 2 and a 1. 2 and 2. 1 and 1. There we go! So with that, we have drawn and Mega Evolved Mega Absol! And with that, Mega Absol is going to get the crown. There we go. Alright, so, let's do one more. Mega Altaria said at least one use only fixed skills. That's not going to happen. That's just not my thing, so sorry, unfortunately my favorite Mega Evolution is not going to get a crown, but let's bring Mega Rayquaza. Because you know what? Why not? We're gonna YOLO this thing. We're just gonna YOLO it. Alright, let's bring... I guess Mega Blaziken could work. Alright, and Mega... Oh, I guess also the Ash Greninja. Let's go. I'm gonna bring the Mythical or Legendary Pokemon, which is our Mega Evolution. Only fixed skills. Yeah, I don't really... I'm not all about that. I probably could do that, but... yeah, I'm not gonna right now. I'm going all Mega Rayquaza on this thing. Now I feel bad about going for Mega Rayquaza, because we probably don't need to, but... I'm doing it! I'm doing it! That's power. Alright. That is some serious power we're talking about. I know I'm letting the clock go right this second by going for Rayquaza instead of Gengar. That could be worse. I mean, it was unnecessary, but... that's okay. Alright. 5, and we're... half of the board is done. Actually, almost half of the board. Overall, I'd say about half is done. But, still. Alright. Blaziken, just... I should have brought Metagross instead. That is completely useless. Actually, it's not completely useless, it's just, it's not very useful. Especially because now I don't have any way of checking what I'm doing. So that's a 2. 2 right there. 1 right there. We have a 3 including this. That's in the 4. That's a 3. Those need to be in the 3. That's in the 1. Those need to be in the 4. That's a 1. Those need to be in the 4. This stuff can't be in the 4. That stuff can't be in the 2, but that has to be in the 2. This can't be in the 2, so that is the 2. That would be a 1, so there's a 1 right here. That's a 2, so that's the 4, meaning that would be the 4 right there. That's done. 2 right there. And we have a 3. 4 right there. We have a 1 and a 4. 5 right there. And 1 and 2. 2 right there. 3, and we have a 2. Can't include this. You know, 1 at the bottom here. That's the 4. That can't be in a 2, meaning that we have a 1 right here. So this would have to be... Well, we know that's not there. That's this one. This column's done. There needs to be another 1 in here, another 1 here. Well, that's a 2. That's a 3. That's a 2. There's the 1. There we go! So with that, we have drawn and Mega Evolved Mega Altaria, who's unfortunately not going to get the crown, but is definitely an awesome enough Mega Evolution to deserve one. Nevertheless, that's okay. That is okay. We are making our way through these Mega Evolutions, so we still do have quite a ways to go. We only need one more mural tile, and then we will have all of them, and we can eventually start working on completing them. So we still have quite a ways to go, even if we have captured every Pokemon in the game. That said, thank you for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time when we continue drawing these Mega Evolutions. Goodbye!